appreciate how he became upset. I mean, his only choice was to say, okay, now that you have gone against my word, I'm going to have to put you outside the garden. This is going to be your discipline for going against my word, for choosing Satan's word, this conniving interloper in the garden, over my word, your creator, the one who has provided and laid out all of this wonderful atmosphere and food and protection for you. You've let this snake, this entity of deception, come along and cause you to doubt what I have instilled in you. Well, I digress a little bit. But I think you can get and appreciate what I'm trying to say. Imagine now God thinking to himself, I've created man, I created the universe, I provided all of this for them, and some other human is coming along and telling them, you don't need God anymore. You have all you need within yourself. In fact, you yourself are a God. I guess we should probably try to understand here that God, the word God, is only a title. Sometimes you will see God when people are referring to the supreme being, God, it is a capital G. Then when referring to all the many man-made gods, it has a lowercase g. But nonetheless, the word God is only a title. And so in upcoming episodes, we will explore the many names of God that are found throughout the Bible. But I want you to understand that even those names are, in essence, a title. And titles really only attempt to describe or apply some characteristic or quality for the individual. Like when we say president, I mean, there are presidents of corporations, right? And then there's the president of the United States or a president of another country. Certainly the lowercase p president of a corporation doesn't have ascribed to it all of the honor, dignity, and power associated with the capital P president, as in a president of a country. But nevertheless, if we give someone the title president, it still has associated with it some degree of esteem, some degree of power, some degree of accomplishment and intelligence. So, likewise, the title God should ascribe to this entity, the supreme being, certain characteristics, certain aspects of that position power, intelligence. In this case, when we speak of the supreme being, God, we have already discussed that he is a spirit, that he is ever present, that he is all knowing, that he is all powerful. And we are talking about the fact that he is a sovereign God, in that he does not require the input, the suggestions, the authorization from any other being to conduct his business. He does not seek our opinion about how he should carry out his functions. He does not require our input. He is not obligated to carry out anything that we would suggest or ask of him. He is not obligated to even explain himself to us. However, he has taken the concerted effort to reveal to man aspects of himself in what we have in the Bible. So, understanding that in our humanness, when we attempt to describe or develop a concept of God, as we have found out thus far, we are not capable of fully providing that concept, because we only understand in part. As we discussed on Friday, that much of what we learn is fragmentary. We only learn, observe, view in part. We don't have the entire picture. But God not only reveals himself in the scriptures, he also reveals himself in our environment. Many people say that they really don't have a understanding or a revelation of God. However, they will share with you their experiences of where they are just in awe of something they have observed in nature, or even they're in awe of the stars that they gaze at night, or the powerful ability of a storm to erode the side of a hill or completely decimate buildings that man says are indestructible. In fact, I often find myself gazing at the stars and the clouds, and sometimes I've been laying out on the beach and realize all of the many grains of sand that's there, the powerful waters of the ocean, and the sounds of those thunderous waves as they come in, and looking up at the clouds and just realizing that here I am lying on this beach, this vast expanse of land and water and air, and I'm but a speck here. If someone were on the space station looking down, I wouldn't even be discernible lying here on this beach. Oh, well, of course, with satellites, they could probably see what beverage I was drinking, but just looking down from the space station, I wouldn't even be observable to them. All the vastness that is in the universe, all the vastness and variety that's in nature. I can't even imagine all the many numbers of species of trees and flowers and weeds and grasses and ants and all the other bugs and animals. There are some creatures in the oceans, they say, that we still don't have any idea why they're there, what they do, what is their purpose, how do they even survive with all of that pressure of water upon them, 20 leagues under the sea, down in the deep crevice. God has manifested himself in all that we see. There are scriptures that speak to the fact that God has declared himself in all of his creations. One such scripture is Habakkuk 2, verse 14, and it reads, "For the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord, as the waters cover the sea." Numbers 14 and 21 says, "But surely as I live, all the earth shall be filled with the glory of the Lord." Psalms 104 and 24 says, "O Lord, how manifold are thy works! In wisdom hast thou made them all. The earth is full of thy riches." Romans 1 and 19 through 21 very aptly says that, basically put, creation bears witness to the Creator. Romans 2:14 and 15 says, "Man in God's image, even though he is so defiled, still maintains a consciousness of the revelation of God's laws." In other words, it specifically says that if man, not previously knowing the law, can act in accordance with the law, then he must have some consciousness of the law. Put in everyday language, people will say, "You know better." Right? Nobody has to tell you not to go out and rob a bank or kill someone. You just know. You just know that there are things that are wrong, in other words. In Romans, Paul is just trying to say to us that we still have this slight bit of connection in our consciousness to God, who God is. In that, even as defiled as we are, we still have the ability to know basically right from wrong. In other words, as Romans 1:19 said, his creation bears witness to the Creator.